when this is uploaded, I will be in Toronto. Today, it's about the character of Christ. All of our lives, and even now, we're looking for heroes. If we can find one whom we can admire and whose behavior we can emulate, we'll be on our way to fulfillment. Unfortunately, no human being, dead or alive, can fit that bill. All human personality will eventually disappoint us. We females may think that Kim Kardashian is a great personality, and many of us want to emulate her. We follow the so-called influencers, people who influence behavior, dress, style, anything on social media. Following them would put that big smile on our faces. We will be so disappointed, if not broke, after buying the clothes, the makeup, the surgery, and whatever else. Personality is the highest thing in life. It is also the most interesting, attractive, fascinating. The study of personality surpasses almost everything in practical value. There is a personality that we can emulate that will never lead to disappointment and bankruptcy. The person and character of our Lord Jesus Christ as is portrayed in the Gospels. One of his closest disciples has summed up his own impression of Jesus Christ in the following words: "We beheld his glory, full of grace and truth." These two words, grace and truth, describes his personal character. By grace, we are to understand his graciousness of soul, manner, attitude, speech, and action. We can see this plainly in his influence on daily life of his disciples, who were his constant companions. It is writ large on every page of the Gospels that he was attractive to people generally, and not least to little children. It is a fine test of personal power to observe how little children regard a man, and Jesus Christ answers this test to perfection. Grace was manifest in everything he was and did. Now, the other character of him, truth, is also marked characteristic of the life of Jesus Christ. Reality was stamped on everything about him. Today we want reality TV. But Jesus' life was truth and reality in your face. So if we emulate his life, if we live like him, then we are living in reality. This is reality, real life. Why do we need to watch somebody else's? So truth is also a marked characteristic of the life of our Lord Jesus. Reality was stamped on everything about him. His life was holy. His word was true. His whole character was the embodiment of truth. There never has been a more real or genuine man than Jesus of Nazareth. It is not only the presence, but the combination of the two elements of grace and truth in Jesus Christ that calls for attention. So really and truly, grace and truth was in his character. And we should, to emulate him, have grace and truth in our own character too. But it is not just present there. We notice the perfect blend and their equally perfect proportion. That grace is there with truth in perfect proportion. That one is not overwhelming the other, or one is absent and the other one is kind of sort of present, but rather it's there, both of them in a balanced amount. Grace by itself might easily lead to weakness and mere sentimentality. Truth by itself might easily be expressed in rigor, sternness, severity. But when grace is strengthened by truth, and truth is mellowed by grace, we have the perfect character and the true life of man. It is the union of these two opposites in Jesus Christ in perfect balance and consistency that demands our attention. Other men have it, but only fragmentary. He is complete, and the complete and balanced, perfect Jesus Christ manifested them both in beautiful harmony and exquisite proportion. Not only so, he possesses all these elements in a higher degree than anyone else and with perfect balance and proportion. Still more, he possesses other traits of character which are not found elsewhere, like absolute humility, entire unselfishness, wholehearted willingness to forgive, and the most beautiful and perfect holiness. One has to lie, and lie miserably, in order to find fault with Jesus, as in the case of people from other faiths, or in the case of skeptics. They have to lie, to ignore his existence. Jesus is historical. That means he existed. And of witnesses to him, there are numerous. So there is complete balance of all these wonderful traits. Grace. One might have grace, which only leads to being emotional and sentimental. One might have truth that leads to sternness. You shall not do this. You shall not do that. But rather he has it in perfect balance, that it works with each other, so that his grace is not mere sentimentality, or his truth is not mere sternness and rigor, but rather there is love, there's willingness, there's humility, and there's holiness. And this is the character of our Lord Jesus, and this is what, as Christians, we are asked to emulate. So think of these things each day, that we, even as we read the Bible and think that, oh, I'm perfect, I don't do this, I don't do that. Like like Nicodemus who came to him at night. So what do you say? Thou shalt love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your minds, with all your soul. Thou shalt love your neighbors. I do all these things. But it's like, okay, I don't murder, so I'm good. I don't steal, I'm good. But rather, we are called to be the salt of the earth and a light to the world, to turn the other cheek, go the extra mile. So there is much more than that rigid observance of the commandments of God. There's that loving observance. We love God. We love our Lord Jesus Christ. That's why we do the things we do, not out of compunction, but out of love and complete willingness. Think of these things today and every day, even as we go forth in this world to be kingdom people, image bearers. Christianity is not to live, and so when we die, we go to heaven. We are participants as kingdom people, to bring these traits of our Lord Jesus Christ, to reflect it in our lives, in ourselves, as we go forward in this life.